Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Welcome here to the Sage Fruit Stage Show. Here it is Friday of DIRTcar Nationals here at Volusia Speedway Park. Tons of guests coming up here this afternoon, and man, it's almost like Groundhog Day. We keep showing up, we keep racing. The weather has been absolutely beautiful, and of course, glad to have fans joining us here on the property, as well as those that are watching with us right now on Dirt Vision. Well, DIRTcar UMP driver David Stremme joining me now here on the Sage Fruit Stage Show. So far, DIRTcar Nationals has been treating you pretty good. You got a first, a second, a third, a fifth. How would you evaluate your guys' run so far?
I mean, it's going okay. You know, it don't take much to look around and other people are having a worse day. But we've done good. We were leading that feature on, I don't know, they start running together. I think it was Wednesday or something, and coming to the white, and I went into one, and very odd piece. It holds a brake mount on, it broke, and we spun the brake caliper and lost brakes. And, you know, luckily, the tracks had this, what I call a sand pit up by the wall, and we went down in there, no brakes, hit that, run third. So it stunk because we didn't get the win, but still we ended up with a decent finish. Last night was a little wild. We kind of, for a lot of the fans that watch, they do it by points. So obviously, like, you know, you're around drivers that are doing well through this week and probably are who you're going to be racing against in the big feature. And it was different, but I put on old tires, just kind of like, let's just see what happens. And we run fifth. My teammate was a little hard on me there during the race, but it was a good day. It's been all good. It's just really busy for me because we have 30 cars here, our customers, just wide open, and the week goes by so fast.
So let's talk about that a little bit. You've got those customer cars here. You've obviously got to focus on your own car and your own program. How do you balance that on checking in, making sure the business side of things is good, but also still being in the mindset to go drive your own car?
Well, my competitors just need to be happy I'm busy.
Yeah.
I don't know how I do it. You know, my stuff probably gets not attended to like I need to. If you're around my pit area, you always see during engine warm-ups, I'm just working on my stuff, trying to get it done. So it's hard. It's a very hard balance. I enjoy it because, like last night, we had 4 customers win. Schrader being one of them. There's Dave Pinkerton. There's Jonathan Taylor. I'm trying to think of the other one. There's one more I'm forgetting. But and I get as much enjoyment out of them winning as I do. So it's a lot of fun. But it is very busy. But I look forward to this week all year. I mean, just being here in Florida at Volusia. Also, I've been coming out here, not even before I started racing, I'd come out and watch just at what World Racing Group's done to the facility. Just the you know, atmosphere is always great. Now I'm a little pissed off that Speed Weeks isn't what it used to be. Like, NASCAR wants to go out to California. I don't know why. They need shot in the head for that one. But if I was Volusia County or the state of Florida, I'd be pissed off because there's a lot of revenue lost. We see it with attendance in years past. You know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday were packed houses. I think the record crowd is on a sprint car Friday or Saturday night. So I'm a little disappointed with that, but it's great at what World Racing Group's doing here, and it shows with the car counts we have in modifieds and sprint cars.
And it's definitely been nice to see even the last couple nights. The parking lot over here has been full. I'm camping here in the campgrounds and maneuvering through that. It's been great to see all the fans, especially that are joining us here at the Sage Fruit Stage Show. So kind of continuing the conversation of the chassis company, you guys recently made the move back up to Pennsylvania, relocating from the Mooresville, North Carolina area. First off, weather down here, probably a lot warmer than it is in Pennsylvania right now. But how is that all going? How's that transition been?
It's not bad. It's 50 degrees in Pennsylvania right now. So
that's not bad.
Central PA is not bad. They start racing into February. They have, what do they call that, the icebreaker at Lincoln or something. They're nuts, the motorsports crowd up there. But, you know, it's a lot of fun. We get to see the Outlaws. I'm looking forward to the late model race at Path Valley this summer. It's good. I was just talking to Kenny about that. I mean, that's going to be an awesome show. They have Bedford. there's a lot of tracks in that area that are very healthy with racing. So obviously sprint car racing's big. I tell all the sprint car guys, look, our modifieds are here to pack the track for you. That's it. What kind of conditions do they? So I mean, we have a lot of fun with it. Danny Dietrich, he was talking to me before he come down here. Obviously, everybody talks about cost, and he's complaining about a $300 barrel of fuel. I'm like, listen, we're paying $700. So it's just neat talking with those guys. But PA is really cool. I miss North Carolina, but it's just changed so much. It's not the same for the 15 years. I was almost 19 years I was there. So I enjoy PA, but I definitely, as I get a little older, I'm coming to Florida during the winter.
I'm going to start the snowboarding process.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what, I've always said that, though, before. That's what, again, you know, I'm a little pissed off. Like, Speed Weeks isn't Speed Weeks. It was 2 weeks of racing, you know. Now, yeah, you got East Bay, but that's going away, you know. I mean, it always started here at Volusia and went 2 weeks. And I don't know, when was your first year down here?
My first year down here was...
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it was 3 years ago with the Outlaws. But you got to remember, on the late model program, we start the second week of January. So we do that 17, 18, 19th, and then everyone basically just stays down here. So Speed Weeks for late models is Speed Month now. It's almost a month.
It's really, I tell people, late models are 2 season.
Yeah.
Because you have...
stop.
Yeah, you have Sunshine Nationals, then they roll up to Golden Isles. They kind of roll all around. So it is 2 seasons. And I look at back like in Speed Weeks. I'm talking about the big track here, New Smyrna, everything. It was just huge, like mid-late 2000s, early, you know, like 12, 13, 14 through there. Even, you know, I remember right before all the COVID stuff, I mean, like I said, we were having record crowds here. I mean, unbelievable. You'd be 6 deep at the fence, 8 deep in fans, couldn't even get to where you could see the track. And I again, it's everybody. It was the big track going on. You had Thursday, you had the 150s, you had qualifying, you had all this stuff, and it's gone. So it kind of sucks, really. I mean, but there's still, and you got to thank World Racing Group for this, Volusia's still here and going for 2 weeks. So it's really cool to have that, and you see that with the fans here now.
Yeah, and of course the car count great down here this weekend as well with the DIRTcar UMP Modified. So let's kind of talk about that right now. You know, the competition level, just even down here this week, is intense. But you go to any given racetrack right now in the Midwest as well when the summer season kind of kicks off, and it's tough competition through and through. As someone who's, you know, been a part of this scene for quite some time, how would you evaluate right now just kind of the health of UMP Modified racing?
You know, modified racing is tough because our modifieds, unlike a sprint car late model, you had late model guys went out to Wild West. They you know, sprint car guys can go anywhere. Modifieds, you have 4 sanction bodies, you call it. But I've always said modifieds are a working man sport kind of car. They call them the Iron Man of the dirt car here, because you go have a job, you're doing stuff. They're not a car that you go make a living at racing. It's like, let's go have fun. And that's how I treat it. It's just me, my buddy, and my wife, and we go race. And I mean, you don't like spend hours on your car and, hey, I'm going to go race here. So with that being said, it's great right now because we have a 20,000 win at Fairbury. We have a 10,000 at Eldora here in April. You got a 100,000 up in Mississippi Thunder. But I also say it's bad. We don't need, our races should only pay like a maximum of $5,000 to win. You know, we, like what World Racing Group did here, okay, for a lot of you fans that seen our division change where we had 1 feature. Well, there's people bitching and moaning that, oh, they're giving out gators to everything. And no, there's still very good cars in each race, okay? And you got to take 113 cars or whatever we're having. There's guys that they get to run that feature and they run a top 10 or whatever. They still got to beat, you know, there's what, 20, 25 cars in a race or something?
Yeah, and each one there's 6 features.
So yeah, you can't keep sending guys home that with like $40. So World Racing Group went and said, hey, or DIRTcar. I call World Racing Group, but it's DIRTcar.
All the same, yeah.
They went, and think about this. They pay 6 features now, so that's 6 purses. They put out some big money. So it's great for all these racers that come down. And again, 95% of them in that pit area are here to camp, hang out, and they're having a good time. You know, now the professionals, I call it, are up here at Sprint Car area. They do it for a living. So again, as we adjust for things, mods are doing great. I'm one that we don't need to pay all this big money. The big money should be like tomorrow night, I think it's like $5,000 to win. That's good, okay? But these 120s and 10s are too much, and I'm against them.
And my favorite part, too, is last night after the features were over, right? All the sprint car trailers were closed, empty. You could drop a pin in the sprint car pit. But let me tell you, there was some fun still going on down in the modifieds. They come down here to race and have a good time. But
hang on, though. So I've been here when none of the sprint car guys would stay except Shoe Hart and Logan Allen. They'd be over there, and you'd see Craig Kinzer. Now there's like 20 haulers. They don't go back to hotels. So I think the mods are rubbing off on them, like, hey, we'll just wash and do all our maintenance here. So there's a lot of cool stuff for you fans. It could be 10 in the morning, you're out for a walk. Just go through the pit area there. There's guys working. I mean, there's so much action, and I thought it was cool that they're getting more early birds.
Yeah, there's not as many car washes currently being used by the sprint car team.
No.
All right, last question here before we let you get back to the pit area. Of course, you've got your son, Steele, that's been traveling with you. Is he 2? Almost 2. Okay, so now at the point where he's got an idea what's going on. How fun has it been to be able to bring him to the races, immerse him in it, and simply have him as part of this lifestyle?
I try to keep him far away from racing as possible. How do I want to say this? I grew up around racing. I was very fortunate to have a very good career in racing, but I try to keep him away. So I lean on Schrader for that. I go, hey, how'd you keep your boy away? But he's enjoying it. He doesn't really know the racing yet. He knew we got an alligator the other day, and he was kind of playing with that. But he's having a good time. It's more of him and my wife and everybody. We get to, again, it's like a vacation. They just went to the beach there today. They were hanging out. He comes back. He's napping now. He'll get up. He'll ride his little bike around. He'll do some stuff. He's getting to where he likes putting air in the tires and doing all that. But it's just go have fun. He's here and he's getting to see some of the other kids. So again, it's very hard because I grew up around racing, but I want him to do what he wants to do. I'm not a dad like, oh, we're getting go-karts and we're going down this road and we're going to do all this. It's going to stay away. So we'll just see how it goes, but it's great having him here, and I'm very blessed of the family we have.
And if it makes you feel any better, you're definitely the 3rd or 4th driver just so far that said they're going to buy their kid golf bags and golf clubs and keep them away from it.
He's into cooking, so he has all kinds of cooking stuff. I said it's going to be way cheaper to go get a restaurant.
Yep.
I like to eat anyway, so we'll get him to what is it?
The Easy Bake Ovens.
Yeah. Oh, he's got that. He's got all kinds of stuff. He cooks with Mom on the stovetop. He does everything. So, like I said, I'm just going to let him do whatever he wants. I mean, I've been around people that have pushed their kids and doing stuff, and you see it now more than ever. Guys, when they started young, and I'm talking like 5, 6, and they race, and they're in their late 30s and they're burned out, and that's what you got to let them do their thing and just enjoy it.
Well, we're going to let you do your thing and get out of here. We appreciate it. David Stremme once again joining us here on the Sage Fruit Stage Show. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we've got Kyle Strickler getting ready to join us.
There are a number of outcomes that we want students to achieve after they complete a career technical education program. One of the first outcomes is to have employability skills. We start as early as the elementary division where students are exposed. We allow students in the middle division to explore, and we want students in the senior division to practice. The opportunity to practice those skills throughout the course of their high school career is critical.
You wanted the best, you got 'em for a breast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
It's Florida in February. Beaches, palm trees, and 2 huge weeks of racing. Kick off 2024 with the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals at Volusia Speedway Park. Sprint cars, late models, and modifieds at the world's fastest half mile. World of Outlaws sprint cars and DIRTcar UMP modifieds February 5th through the 10th. World of Outlaws late models and Super DIRTcar Series Big Block modifieds February 12th through the 17th. Plus food, fun, souvenirs, and more. Tickets and camping at DIRTcarNationals.com. February 5th to the 17th at Volusia Speedway Park.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Hold on tight to the checkered flag with our huge selection of high-quality titanium fasteners. Quality you can see, strength you can test. We use heat-treated, certified aerospace billet material that's stronger than grade 8 steel, and all of our parts are American-made with American metal, by racers, for racers. From micro, midget, sprint, and IndyCar to top fuel, tractor pull, and more. Visit our website to configure a custom bolt kit for your car, and we'll ship it to you in labeled bags. Smith Titanium. We winnovate.
It's ARP Fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com. No matter what you race.
Welcome back here to the Sage Fruit Stage Show. Of course, behind the front stretch grandstands here up on the stage. We'd love to have you join us if you're here on property, or of course tuning in on Dirt Vision. And we've got fans already lined up, getting ready to get into the grandstands for some Friday night racing action. But Kyle Strickler joining us here on the Sage Fruit Stage Show now. First off, it's been a pretty good week for you as well. Got a couple win, a couple runner-ups, but is it safe to say that from here on out the rest of the week, it just simply gets harder?
Yeah, for sure. Last night, I didn't think we were going to go that fast. I thought the show was going to take a little bit longer, and there just wasn't enough laps on the racetrack. And I was trying some stuff because I think we need to get a little bit better, but didn't get it all done in time, and then was kind of out there with half of it done, and our car was not very good at all in the feature last night. But we've been pretty fast. I mean, normally, I love coming here, and I'm usually pretty decent here, but I feel like I'm second place car this entire speed weeks. I run second multiple times at East Bay, and then come over here and get 2 seconds. But we did get that win, so I thought about it a lot last night with a few adult beverages, and I think I got it all figured out now. We're gonna get back to the pit area and try some stuff, a little bit of little tweaks instead of throwing the kitchen sink at it, and see how we go tonight. Tonight's format, the way it runs, we should be with some of the fast cars, because I think leading up to it with doing the 6 features, it's a lot of it's who's in your group or who draws with you. So tonight's more of a normal format, so we'll see how she goes, and we'll have some more laps on the racetrack, and I think the track will be a lot more like tomorrow will be for the Big Gator.
So the format, I feel like a whiteboard here to try and explain how it goes with the points and the 6 features, and then starting Thursday, we start running features based on points, and there was a 10-car invert. At what point during the week are you going into it with the mentality of points racing and just trying to have those decent finishes to rack up those points, or are you guys still chasing the little gators every single night as well?
Well, I mean, the little gators are awesome just because, it's such a cool trophy, and it means so much. And I never really points race. I always worried about Saturday and then let the rest take care of itself. But I also only ever won 1 point steal. So Nick was really good at the point stuff and making sure that he finished all the races, and that's how you win that points thing. So the points never pay anything, except for this year. This is the first year that it's actually paying. And Sam said he didn't even know that was the case this year. So that's why it kind of was messed up how they did it for it paying now, because all of the guys that are high in points have to race against each other, and then there's the invert for a 15-lap feature, and it's just really hard. The racetrack was heavy, hammered down fast, and then a guy like Sorensen was 8th in points and now is leading points. So it kind of stank for myself and Nicely. But come Saturday, that's the one that I'm here for anyway, is winning that big gator there, and then the points will take care of itself, and try to get as many gators as possible, so I can try to catch Nick, because I think he's like lapped the field over and over again with the amount of gators he has. So.
Well, you were able to get that big gator last year, and I think at one point there was another gator, a special gator that you were given for the Ironman, is what we decided to call it, because you turned the most laps overall between the modified, and then turned around and ran your late model the entire next week, which is also 6 days. How long did you sleep after that week? Because we were here the whole 2 weeks too, and I didn't even drive a race car, and we were exhausted.
Yeah, it's this time of the year, it's always long and grueling, and a lot of time away from your family, and I think I've been on the road for it'll be 2.5 weeks or whatever tomorrow, and then I might stick around for late model week and help out some of my buddies. But yeah, I mean, it's always a blast. I love coming to Volusia anytime we can, and I really love the modified stuff, just because the fans are great, the racers are great, and they're so much fun to drive. So I mean, it's pretty cool that I have a gator with the late model and the modified. So that's a pretty cool thing to do. But man, I love these modifieds. I love actually physically driving them. The late models can be a lot of fun, but the modifieds are usually way more fun to drive all the time. The late models can also be miserable when you don't have your car right, but. We'll see. I mean, I'd like to add another big gator to the collection for sure, and hopefully we can get our car a little bit better, and we can do that on tomorrow night.
Kyle Strickler joining us here on the stage show. If you're just now joining us, now Volusia's kind of a beast of its own, so that when you see a lot of these guys that are hot shoes maybe in the Midwest that come down here, they might have that tendency to struggle, but you've kind of always had some consistency here, especially behind the wheel of a modified at Volusia. What is it about this racetrack that just simply works with you?
Yeah, we used to joke around about it that like all the guys from North Carolina kind of came out of nowhere. It's like it kind of was dominated by the Florida guys and then the Midwest guys, and then all of us all moved to North Carolina to do the NASCAR stuff, and then you have Nick and Stremme and Rudiman and myself, and it's like there's so much technology there, and it really helps trickle down through the ranking. But the track has changed so much over the years, especially since I put this new dirt on it. It's almost like a really fast East Bay, and the modifieds you can kind of drive through it some, but the late models you just struggle with steering. But I think that's what makes the racing so good on the late models come feature time. So I think that getting used to a place like this or Eldora that you have a lot of speed and is a really fast racetrack helps a lot. So I like big, fast racetracks, and it's something that I've kind of prided myself on, and do your homework and come down here and be fast every year.
And how do you feel like being located in North Carolina kind of plays out for you? There's only really a handful of guys that are kind of based in the Carolinas, with DIRTcar and modifieds being so primarily Midwest.
Yeah, I wish I would have moved down there 10 years sooner. I think I could have helped my career out some too, but my career went through the roof once I moved to North Carolina and aligned myself with a lot of really smart people and guys that work in the NASCAR world but really love playing with dirt cars on the side. And like I said, I wish I would have done it way sooner, but it helps out a lot. And it's almost too convenient sometimes, because it lets you be lazy with putting your orders and everything, but because there's so many parts suppliers in that area, and from race car parts to shocks to chassis builders, so it's all really close right there, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a perfect place to be if you're involved in racing.
I was going to say, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and when I moved to the Charlotte area, it was the most mind-blowing thing that you could drive into like the motorsports complex, and you could go get a steering wheel, a race suit, transmissions, whatever you needed, and you could just walk in there, and I didn't have to order them and then wait 6 to 8 weeks for them to get to Idaho. It's a wild concept.
Yeah, it's like I said, it spoils you, and I've never been one for being on time or preparation, so I find myself driving all over town trying to get what I need, and But it's, like I said, it's the convenience of that allows you to do that from being in that town, and it's pretty cool. It's like moving to Hollywood to be an actor. You know, it's just, if you're going to be a race car driver, I think it's the place to be.
Now let's talk about 2024 and kind of what that looks like for you. Over the last year, to be quite honest with you, you show up at races that we didn't expect you to show up at, and then we'd think that you would be at one and you wouldn't with the super, and you'd be at a modified somewhere else. How have you guys gone into 2024 in picking and choosing what you're going to run and where?
I got so, I guess, stressed out, or there was so much pressure to perform on the late model side that I just wasn't having as much fun as I did when I was racing the modified. And we're still going to run the late model some once we get back in there, and Charlie and Melanie are still supporting me a ton. I still keep all my stuff over at their new shop. It's just, man, late model racing is so expensive. It's so much work. You just got to have so many full-time guys, and now it's getting harder and harder to find guys that can travel on the road and be gone from home as much as you have to be. So I kind of just wanted to take a step back and spend some more time with my wife and kids, and go race that modified and have fun doing that. So still gonna run the late model, like I said, but just kind of hit all these big modified races, because there's a lot of money to be paid this year, and you know, I still like this modified racing is kind of my passion or whatever, and the late model stuff is really cool when you can run good. It's extremely satisfying when you can run good. But man, there's so many times when you don't, and you're just running up and down the road, and it's just it can be very frustrating and not be a lot of fun. It kind of takes a lot of the fun out of it. So this year, I think we're just gonna do that, just have fun, and go to the racetracks that I really enjoy going to, and run some big late model races. Like, I'll definitely be at Eldora because I love that place so much. And then like the Fairbury race for the modified, I'll definitely be at that, and go to Eldora with the modified. So yeah, just kind of taking a step back and having fun with it.
And last question for you, and a quick one. You're also not only a driver, but you're a car owner now because your son racing at Millbridge. Is it stress and anxiety, or have you been able to sit and hang out and watch him race at Millbridge?
I mean, it's really cool to have a place like Millbridge, you know, in our area, and I guess I didn't really know how stressful it would be. It's like you've never been so mad but so happy at the same time. I feel myself being one of those dads, like I'm up there getting so mad at him because I know he can do it. But it's a lot of fun, and I want to do a lot more of that this year too. Be able to spend some time with him and going to racing, and he's at that age where he's trying to figure out what he likes to do. He wants to play all the sports. He's playing basketball, playing t-ball, playing football, and then you throw racing in there too. So I'm one of those guys that I'm going to get him a golf clubs and see if he can do that. But if he wants to go racing, he loves it right now. At his age, he's all in. He's so pissed that he's not here right now. I talked to him this morning. He's got a little baby toy alligator that he's been using to race his Matchbox cars around at the house. So he's got his own little Volusia set up at the living room in there. And but we can go out there and run some more races at Millbridge and get him some more laps and have a lot of fun with that too, because it's cool to have your whole family and be able to go do that on the way they have it scheduled, where you can run Tuesday nights and everything. So yeah, that's all part of the stepping back and having fun with racing.
And the golf club trend continues. You're not the first one to say that, but we're gonna let Kyle Strickler get back to the pit area, get things going as he chases yet another big gator here at DIRTcar Nationals. We're gonna take a quick break here on the Sage Fruit Stage Show, but 10-time champion Donnie Schatz will be joining me here on the stage after the break.
Welcome to our world. A world of dirt, drift, and dodging fate. A world where all of motorsport collides. A world of digging deep, of grit, glory, and bitter defeat. Inhabited by the strong, the fearless, the barely sane. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of NOS.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
It's orientation day. Welcome to the team.
Who wants to race?
I like this team.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to the Sage Fruit Stage Show here at Volusia Speedway Park. Of course, part of the Federated Auto Parts DIRTcar Nationals. If you're here on the property with us, we'd love to have you come and join us. We're located right here back behind the front stretch grandstands right before you walk into the racetrack. And right now joining me is Donnie Schatz. And it's wild to think that we've already kicked off the 2024 season just 2 nights ago. Still have 2 more nights to go. But man, a great start for the season for you, a 6th and a 5th place run. How do you feel like you guys can build on that over the next couple nights?
Well, a great start would be 2 wins, but clearly the 6th and the 5th is where we're at. You know, it's been the results haven't been there the last couple of years, so to come here, get unloaded and be solid the first night. You know, the first night I think everybody here is trying to figure out what's going on, what's changed, if the tires have changed, any of those sort of things. So, but my guys, every time we've hit the racetrack, we've made strides, and last night in the main, incredible. I mean, to be able to run forward like that. Towards the end, I thought we were going to have a chance. Even with the yellow there, we were going to get up there and race. But, you know, I understand we hurt a motor. It wasn't bad, but it moved the seat on the valve. So just a minor thing, but it down a little bit. And the racetrack's been very demanding. So it was actually pretty fun. I think we've seen some pretty good racing. Cars have come through the field both nights. That's all you can ask for. So the racetrack's there, and you just rely on them guys to just keep making the right adjustments. So looking forward to tonight.
So knowing that your car has that maneuverability, and like you'd mentioned, it's been a demanding racetrack. We still have 2 more nights. Does that ease your mind a little bit, knowing that the car's there, we just maybe need the cards to fall a little bit better?
Well, no, I think the car's been good. It's just when you look at the way the format is, you know, it's all about qualifying well. And if you look at where we've been, it's like I told the guys last night, I said every time we've hit the racetrack, we've been roughly 2.5 to 3/10 off of the quick cars. Qualifying, same thing, practice night. So we just we're just a little bit short on the speed there, and we got to figure out how to get that little bit of speed. So the car's maneuverable, or we need the racetrack to slow down to where, you know, guys start to spin the tires, and there's, you know, more variables that make it hard to drive, kind of like what last night at the end of the race was. So you can't start 16th and win these races. So the way I feel like the way the competition is right now, getting in the top 5 was huge. And if we can get ourselves a little bit closer and get the night started better, maybe get in that dash draw from there, you know, then I know we're capable of getting a gator.
And at the tail end of last year, you know, you guys really seemed to find a groove and really were clicking and gelling. Has that, do you feel like, carried over into the season? And what was it that kind of started to click with you guys midway through last season?
Well, obviously we weren't racing for a points championship, so you can kind of take a point in the fall and say, you know, we're not in a position racing for points, so we got to start trying. We got to start building towards next year. And we did a lot of testing. We tried doing some things. We did a lot of things that were just completely off the wall, because sometimes that's what it takes to get yourself to that next level or find something that works. And so that's why you've seen the the inconsistency. It was just trying something that maybe was outside the box. And, these things change. People's driving styles change. The tires change, and you got to try to keep up with it. So, we had that inconsistency, and we didn't end the season like we wanted to, but we did learn a lot. And that's the important part. You got to learn today to focus on tomorrow, and you can't just take it one day at a time. You guys always be thinking ahead, and that's what my guys are doing. That's why I feel like we're ahead of the curve right now versus where we have been, and definitely everything in the positive.
So you mentioned inconsistency, but going on the other side of it with consistency, there was a lot of moving parts in the garage area over the past winter of crew chiefs moving around, crew guys. Your team, the same coming into this season. With a schedule as tough it is and as tough as the competition is, having that similar group, I mean, how much easier does that make your plate and your job as well as just the teams overall to jump in and have a relationship with these guys?
Well, I mean, I guess if you look at history, and honestly, in today's environment, if someone doesn't like history, they try to erase it or change it. You can't. You have to learn from it. And in this game of racing, it's just ever so important. If you look back at my career since 2000, I've run the same race cars. I've ran the same wheels. I haven't had a lot of different crew chiefs. We've had a lot of guys that it's a lot long relationships. And that's how you build on things. And Scuba and I have been racing together a long time. The other two guys on the team, I know they want to win races, and ultimately it's more me and Scuba need to getting things going down the right path. I was most concerned about them, really, because them young guys that want to win, you never know if they're going to go somewhere else, but they're loyal, and they're loyal to a fault, and that's what makes you feel good, is the fact that no matter what happens, we're going to have bad days. Everybody's going to have bad days. You got to suck it up, and you all have a bad day together, and so that's great. That's what's most heartwarming is regardless of what's happened, you're looking towards the future.
Donnie Schatz joining us right now on the Sage Fruit Stage Show. If you're here on property and able to come and join us again, located right here on behind the front stretch grandstands out here right as you get ready to enter the gate. Well, you're embarking on your search for championship number 11. 10 currently underneath your belt here. I know it's tough to amass it all into one thing, but what is the key to putting together a championship run?
Well, it's a lot of things. Most importantly, it's consistency. I used to say you got to win races, and people have thought that I've led them down a wrong path. I've heard people say it. You do have to win races. You're not going to win, 3 or 4 races a year and win a championship. But I take 2 years ago as an example. I think we won 5 or 6 races, and Brad Sweet won 5 or 6 races, and he won a championship, and we ran 4th. The difference in there is the races you don't win. That's what it's always been about. Yeah, we all want to win, but you can't do them things that are silly night in, night out if you're running 2nd or 3rd, or it don't matter if you're running 15th. You can't do something silly, put your team in a bad spot where maybe you're not going to have a DNF, or you cut a tire, or you drive someone over and you're in the work area. You just have to find a way to be in the hunt. And if you make a mistake and you lose a spot, you can't let it turn you upside down and get all flustered about it. You got to think about the bigger picture, and that's the unique part. Is I think that's something that comes with age a little bit, and I think you challenge yourself doing that more than anything. So to me, that's what is fun, is challenging myself in that environment. What's what, because it's not an always go for it. Not when there's 85 races. You got to make it to where you can't write any of those off, and I think we've seen. You can take last year, and David won way more races, but Brad won the championship again. So you have to analyze the races that you don't win, not the races you win, because there's going to be a lot more of them that you don't win than you do.
And you talked about some of those young kids in the field, a rookie class this year consisting, of 2 young drivers, being Buddy Kofoid, who's got quite a bit of sprint car experience in the Grand Mass of things, but even a Landon Crawley. And we talked last year when Gio Scelzi was on his rookie tour, and he said he'd reached out to you. Have any of those rookie drivers kind of come to you this year for advice on how to maneuver a tour like this?
No, not many of them have. I've had a few. I've spent a little time with Sheldon and talked about a few things, and Gio's, I've been around the Scelzi family a long time, and Gio's, I think, way ahead of the curve from what any of us expected, and I think he's doing it the hard way. He's learning from his own mistakes day in, day out, and he's keeping his nose to the ground. So I ultimately respect that because he's doing it the hard way. But if he ever did come and ask, I'd help him, or if I could. But I could tell somebody something, and that doesn't mean it's right, you know. And that's the unique thing about this, is they got to figure it out what's good for them, because what's good for me isn't always what's good for another driver. I don't think there's any question. When we've won 30 races in a year, there's people trying to get the things we do or run their car the way we do, and they get it and they're like, well, that ain't what he's got. It's just everybody's got a different way about them. Everybody likes a different feel, and you know, everybody obviously has a different right foot and a left foot. So there's just too many variables to say that one thing's going to work or not. But when it comes to the how you look at it side, you know, I feel like that's maybe where 28 years and 10 championships might come in to help someone in that scenario. But I'm still racing for it myself. So you gotta respect that scenario, and you go at it without trying to give away the bank.
So let's go off track for a moment here. Of course, long-standing relationship with Tony Stewart Racing for Tony Stewart Racing. We obviously know he's got his involvement with Stewart Haas. Now owns a drag racing team. Have you gotten any phone calls anytime recently to go try your hand out at any drag racing? And do you have any interest for that matter?
Absolutely, yeah. They wanted me to come and weigh their car down. They needed somebody that was over 200 pounds. But that's all they wanted me to do. They didn't want me to run it. So, no. You know, I've never been one that's been around the sport of drag racing, and we all know Tony has the ultimate passion for all types of racing, and it was really the one thing that he hadn't been around. And when he took a liking to it, and I respect that, because I was the same way when I've had tunnel vision for so long on sprint car racing that when I went to the late model races, hung out with the people, even when I come down here to Volusia, I'd love to, because it's just a different mantra. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air, not meaning anything bad on either side. It's just sometimes being around something completely different kind of gives you a different perspective on it. And that's what we all need, to not get that tunnel vision and get stuck in one way. So to see that drag racing team happen and see him become an owner, I went with those guys to Pomona last fall and had a great time. I mean, it's absolutely insane. There's no amount of money you could pay me to get in one of them cars and go 330 miles an hour. And everyone that would have seen me at the races knew exactly I had never been there and done those sort of things, because when the cars took off, I was the guy that hit the ground, thought something blew up. It was full of rubber. It is absolutely insane. And the guy next to me is like, oh yeah, veered to the left, and I'm like, how did you see that? I had to physically put the TV in slow motion to see it. So it's crazy. And his new endeavor, I have no doubt that with the passion and drive that he has, he's going to go out there and win a top fuel race this year, if not contend for a championship, because I think we've seen him in every car he's ever driven. He's been successful, and it's his mind, it's his focus, it's him. And that ain't going to matter whether it's dragster or not, or no experience or not. He's going to go and he's going to do a great job, and we're proud to be their teammates on the other side of the shop.
Listen, I won't count out the day that I see a video of you making a pass in a drag car. We're going to manifest it.
It won't happen, I can assure you.
Well, you talked about some of the late model guys and being around that scene, and that's primarily what I travel with. And it was funny because your name in the late model pit area actually changed and pivoted over the last year. It went from Don to Grandpa Don is what I heard the entire season. Of course, Savannah and Gordy welcoming a little girl. How is Grandpa life treating you? Because she's as cute as can be.
Yeah, it's I don't get to see her much. It's been great. At first it's kind of hard to understand it, but you get used to it, and now you take great pride in it. And Gordy's great. Gordy's family's great. Savannah's doing a great job. Eloise got to spend some time with her before Christmas, and so it's pretty awesome. It makes you look at things a lot different. Makes you appreciate everything you have. Probably more so today than maybe I ever have, and pretty proud of what they have.
Well, we're going to let you get out of here. Of course, Hot Laps not that far away. 10-time champion Donnie Schatz going for number 11 here in the 2024 season with the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. But stick around here after the break on the Sage Fruit Stage Show. We've got Sheldon Haudenschild joining us here.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company's been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
I bought this truck with 124,000 miles on it. It had a loud lift or tick on a cold startup. I added half a can of Seafoam motor treatment to the oil and drove 800 miles. Then after a fresh oil change, I added another half can, and the lifter noise was gone. I am really amazed at how well Seafoam worked.
To find out more about Seafoam products and how they can help your engine run better and last longer, go to seafoamworks.com.
Since their 2001 inception, DMI Racing Components have changed the game. From open-wheel suspension, steering, and driveline components to their line of Bulldog quick-change rears, they set the new standard for innovation, performance, and value. DMI and Bulldog products are backed by the best customer support in the industry with more than 150 years of race-winning experience. Let our experience help guide you to victory lane. We race, you race. Let's race together.
How'd I do?
Great if you're not looking at the clock.
Sure you got that? I had to be faster than that, right? 100% NOS, zero sugar coating. No. New NOS, zero sugar. Get after it.
The greatest show on dirt is back at Houston Speedway in 2024 to battle for another $2 million top prize. It's the BillionAuto.com Houston's High Bank Nationals, June 19th through 22nd. 4 consecutive nights of World of Outlaws, NOS, Energy Drink Sprint Car Series action. Saturday's winner takes home $250,000. Tickets and Camaraderie are on sale now at HoustonSpeedway.com. That's the BillionAuto.com Houston's High Bank Nationals, June 19th through 22nd, 2024.
Welcome back here to the Sage Fruit Stage Show, part of course, DIRTcar Nationals here at Volusia Speedway Park. Our final guest here of today's Friday portion of the show, Sheldon Haudenschild, joining me now. Man, I think you've got some fans over here. You guys are the loudest people we've had all day. I really appreciate this. They got help, is what they said. Hey, listen, that's part of the environment here at DIRTcar Nationals. You love to see it. It's crazy to think that 2024 is now, we got 2 nights in the books. Just seemed like the other day we were at World Finals. I know that so far your 2024 is not off to the start that you've wanted to, but what has been the conversation, your guys' team, on re-racking and kind of taking these next 2 nights by the horns?
Yeah, obviously it hasn't started as planned, but just mainly qualifying. We're struggling, and we struggled last year too with our qualifying, so we're working on some stuff to get it cleaned up a little bit. Obviously, it's very tight margins, and it's easy to be behind if you're even off just a little bit. So I feel like we're racing really well. The first night, I think we had top 5 car for sure, and then last night, finished 11th. But even last night, I think our car was capable of a top 5. Just can't pass 15 to 20 cars every night. So. We just got to start up there with them guys, get 2 solid laps in, and kind of go from there.
So, of course, 2 nights in the books, 2 more to go. And then we come back here again in March for Bike Week. How much of this week do you guys kind of focus on? Yes, you want those good runs, but it's not often in the schedule. You guys are cycling back to a racetrack in a very short time period. So, how much focus is simply just building a notebook to come back on?
Yeah, a little bit. We did this last year too, and I enjoy it. Kind of shake the rust off this week, and obviously, my goal coming out of here is just like an average of 7th. I think is a pretty solid Florida, especially now with it being all outlaw shows and no all-star races. I think I enjoyed having the 2 non-point races first, and then just have our outlaw shows. But it still makes it difficult and fun at the same time. And we're able to focus on coming back here in March and see if the things we worked on over that little break help us.
So let's talk about some cool news that broke last night. Of course, the extension of NOS Energy Drink with the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. You've got obviously the long-standing partnership and relationship with them as well. What is that dynamic like? Because it's a very unique brand, and they've done great things for the world of just racing in general. But to have them come back as a title sponsor and, of course, be a part of your partnership, what does that mean to you as a driver?
Yeah, that something I never would have imagined, especially year one with them. I didn't even really quite understand how big the brand was and the capabilities that they would have just for myself and as a sport is pretty amazing. And going on 7 years now, and kind of in my head, I always had a 10-year kind of goal and plan. And you think those things, but you never really think that that's something plausible and that would actually happen. But pretty surreal too for a company like NOS to have the longest standing sponsorship with the Outlaws is, something I didn't know until last night either. So pretty special for myself and as a sport. I think just what they do for everything, all the fan interaction and all the media that they have done for dirt racing as a whole is pretty amazing.
Well, I think one of the cool things too is the fact that they are present in so many different disciplines of racing, and the camaraderie between you guys is pretty comical as well. I've seen, you guys got the chance to go out to the West Coast. It might have been you driving that I saw a Volkswagen Beetle end up in a wall somewhere. What is that camaraderie like with all the other NOS Energy Drink athletes?
Yeah, it's awesome. We have so much fun at our video shoots, and I think it's 13 guys from all different sports, and usually doing something random, and it just makes it really fun. I've never had a really interest in any of like the UTV stuff and off-road truck stuff, and getting to know the Anderson brothers and getting to go do some off-road truck stuff with them has been something different that I never would have thought I would get to do. And they ran King of the Hammers last week, and there's a big hill climb called Chocolate Thunder that I got to do. Very random, but something pretty cool and a lot of fun.
So that was going to be my follow-up question, if any ride swaps were in the planning. But it sounds like you guys have already got that well underway. But is there any extra competitiveness between you guys, especially having like a driver like Nick Hoffman who races on the World of Outlaw late model tour, also one of the NOS athletes?
Yeah, for sure. Even our silly little videos that we do, it's like we always want to win them, and one of us usually ends up cheating, and it's a lot of fun. But just the whole nine. We have a great group of guys, which makes it cool. I think NOS has done a great job. Lauren's done a great job of selecting athletes for the brand, and she's done a perfect job of that.
So let's talk more about not only that brand, but also just the brand that you've created for yourself as a driver as well. Having those hardcore fans that go up and down the road to the racetrack. There was a couple over here that were hooping and hollering earlier. Yep, we like it. How important is that, to just the survival of kind of dirt racing and that expansion, but to create that connection with race fans?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, I inherited a lot of fans from my dad, but at the end of the day, you got to keep it going for yourself too. And I feel like we've done that, and we've had a great fan base, so supportive, and through the ups and downs, no doubt they've been there. And it's so great to have that support and be able to give them guys a show and want to do good for our fans is something that you don't really think of. And when you do and they show the support, it's like, man, you're appreciative of them.
You mentioned your dad. It's been a year or two now, right, since he officially retired. What is he up to now these days that he's not racing as much? Is he present on race weekends? How is that all working?
Yeah, he's hard to get to come to the races, honestly. He's done it so long that if it's past 3 hours from the house, he's probably not coming, and which is fine. He gets to sit at home, watch on Dirt Vision, and pretty much calls me every day. But he's got a grandson now, so my sister's kid is keeping him busy and on his toes, and I probably see the racing coming back around with him.
Now, another thing that made me giggle too is I actually knew who your dog was, I think, before I knew who you were. I'd seen pictures of Pella and I was like, I have to get to this racetrack and see this dog. Did you ever think that you'd have a dog that would have her own fan base also?
No, that's crazy, actually. Getting Pella at Knoxville, actually the story about Pella was I was starting fourth at Knoxville Nationals B Main. Some lady came around with 4 dogs, and I sent Zane a picture. I said, hey, if we make the show, we're going to get this dog. And, I junked my race car the full length of this straightaway, and I was like, all right, screw it, we're going to get a dog. And greatest decision ever. So went home, no race car in the trailer, had a puppy, and she's pretty much been to every single race that I've went to, obviously minus Australia, but she's made almost every race that I've been to in the States the past 9 years, which is pretty amazing. She lives a good life, and try to give her a good life and have fun with her. And whole fan base too on the TikTok and Instagram. Pella's got her whole own deal going.
I was going to say, she even got to participate in Media Day at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the World of Outlaws. I saw her whole TikTok of coming in and making sure everything went good.
Yeah. Pella's 7-time reigning World of Outlaw dog champion.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, that's just reaffirming the statement that dogs truly do make everything better. So focusing back in kind of on DIRTcar Nationals and your guys' expectations for it. Everyone obviously likes the little gators, but the big gator also itself has kind of become its own little platform of a coveted trophy now. What would it mean to you to take home not only a little gator, but potentially a big gator?
Yeah, I think we're a little far from the big gator at the moment, but still a shot to get 2 more small ones. And I keep a small one in my bus and see it every day and want more of them. So I think the big gator's probably out of shot, but I still feel like we can win these races for sure.
Now, foreshadowing just to kind of the rest of the season, some big races, of course, back on the line. You've got Huset's paying out, the nice West Coast swing as well out there. What are some of the races that you're most looking forward to?
Yeah, I got a lot on the list this year. I think we probably have like 8 new tracks, Paducah being one. I'm probably the most excited to go to. I'm excited to get back to Tulare, especially paying a good pay. I've been close to winning there and haven't got it done. And there's a few. I think some of them Oklahoma tracks at the beginning of the year here. And, I think it's great at the beginning of the year to have a few new tracks that maybe a lot of us haven't been to, except for Donnie and maybe a couple other guys. That's what makes it exciting for me, is go to new places and see who can figure them out.
How do you prepare for those? Because a lot of those racetracks like a Paducah and that kind of stuff, it's been quite some time since either sprint cars have ran there. And while, yes, we're in the day and age of iRacing, and that helps to some extent, there are some of these racetracks you don't even get cell service at, let alone, get iRacing out there to scan them. So do you feel like those A races level the playing field a little bit, and then how do you prepare for those?
Yeah, for sure. I think they level the field. It's hard. I don't do any iRacing. I can't even make a lap on iRacing, so that's useless for me. But I think maybe 07 was the last time they've been to Paducah, and it's hard to even find footage of a lot of these tracks that we're going to. So for me, that's what makes it exciting, though, and that's why these guys are the best in the world, is they show up, they're really fast, and just figure out how to win.
Listen, it's going to be incredible to see sprint cars at Paducah. We went there with the late models for the first time last year, and I remember standing in turn 1 and seeing how fast the late models were going. The sprint cars are going to be absolutely wild there.
Yeah, honestly, the late model series, I probably watch more film of late models because they go to some of these tracks that we haven't been to, and even the ones that we do go to and they also go, just to see how they race and how it shakes out. So YouTube's a great thing, and the Dirt Vision Vault is another great thing.
Well, perfect. We'll let you get going. Of course, Sheldon Haudenschild joining us here. Again, good luck the next 2 days here, and of course, the rest of the 2024 season. But that is all here from the Sage Fruit Stage Show here on the Friday portion. Still so much, of course, coming up. We've got 2 more nights ready to go here at DIRTcar Nationals with the DIRTcar UMP Modifieds, as well, of course, 2 nights of racing here with the NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. So plenty of racing. The weather's been absolutely beautiful. We're thankful to have all the fans that have have joined us here each and every day at the Sage Fruit Stage Show, as well as those tuning in on Dirt Vision. But here shortly, we're going to send you studio side at the Dirt Vision studio in Concord, North Carolina, where Dave Reef has you covered with some great interviews as he's caught up with some of the drivers, all before handing the torch over to Johnny Gibson and, of course, Connor Wade to bring you tonight's trackside action. I'm Hannah Newhouse. Please join us tomorrow from the Sage Fruit Stage Show behind the front stretch grandstands. We'll have 4 more guests to talk tomorrow.